And hello again, and here we are back in my garage. I'm in my little seat, and it's been about 6 weeks now since my last video, which I made at the year end. Now at the time I did say that my plan was to move my Nolly here out of the garage and put it into my conservatory at the back of the house, and then move my Gussy project in its place in here so I can continue working on the Gussy, as it still needs lots of little jobs to do, its wiring needs finishing and so on. Now that was the plan, and it's not happened. Nothing's happened for the last 6 weeks or thereabouts, and that's because over Christmas I got COVID, God knows where from. Thankfully I was fine, I didn't hardly have any symptoms at all, it didn't bother me at all. But my mum, who's in her 80s, who's been staying with me now since the start of this lockdown period, yeah, she got hit pretty hard with it, and not so bad that she had to go to hospital, but it was a bit of a close call at first. So she's been recovering from that, and I've been obviously looking after her for the last month or so, and that doesn't leave much time for playing around with motorbikes. But thankfully she's now on the mend. She's getting better slowly every day, so now I can spend a bit more time thinking about my various projects. Now what's also been happening is that, let's see what's been happening. I've not done very much, but things have been happening elsewhere. So my Guzzi and Zed project is progressing quite well. After many problems, the engine is coming together, and obviously there's a long series of videos about that particular project. But let's see now, the engine is made from a lot of disparate parts. It didn't come from a complete engine. It was like crank cases from here, block from somewhere else, head from somewhere else, and so on. But yeah, it's getting there now. The head's been completely reworked, new valves, new seals, let's see what else. There was some welding had to be done on the head, then it had to go off to cam coat to be coated in a ceramic coating like the rest of the engine. The block had to be rebored again to take the new pistons, the new 75mm pistons that gives you 1170cc, and so on. The last problem we've had recently is that it turns out that the cams that should be from a GP's 1100 B2 are not from a B2, they're from a Z 1100A shaft drive bike, which don't quite have the power of the B2s. They have less lift, less duration, and I've been looking around for a standard set of B2s, but there's hardly anything out there that looks in good condition. So I've decided to go with the Z 11A cams for the time being, and if I find in the future that the bike doesn't feel as quick as it should be, I can always go back and change those cams at some point in the future. It's not a big job to change cams. Yeah, so that's almost done now. I do have some photographs that Les, who's building the engine for me, sent me. He sort of sent me them over a phone. I can't go and see him because we're all in lockdown, but at least I've got a few photographs to show you, so I'll put those up now. Here they are. And so, as you can see, the engine's getting there, which then means moving on to the chassis. The run chassis and the frame and everything else is currently at Jeff's workshop, which again I can't go to see. I can't work in there at all. It's all very frustrating, and he's not been working on much at all recently because he's run out of gas for his heater, and he's just not really felt like doing very much, which is fair enough. He also told me last week that his main welder's broken, it can't be repaired, it's actually, completely gone, and that welder's probably 40 years old, and it's been hammered, and it's been living in a damp garage, which probably doesn't help. So he's stuck, he can't really finish welding off my frame. There's only a few things to do, but it still needs to be done. So now I have been wanting to get into welding for a while now, so I took the plunge this week and I've bought a new welder, a new MIG welder, which Jeff can use while I'm not using it, and that's a, let me see, made by a company called Artec, and it's called a 180, which means its maximum amperage is 180, and it's due any minute now. It's due today. Now, because I'm making this this video a bit later on in the day, it's actually already arrived. So I was actually filming before, and the van turned up, and it unloaded the welder. So I've just got a little clip there where I'm just looking at it in its box. I won't take it out of the box because it's just been stuck in the back of the car, and I'll take it to Jeff's at some point soon. I can't go and see him and mingle in the workshop and do any filming, but I can just dump that box at his door and say, here it is, see you, bye, and that's that. So yeah, that's what's happening. Another big thing that's happened today is that after waiting, oh god, let's see, since late last August. My Gussy paintwork is finished and I collected it about 2 hours ago, and that's the reason for me making this particular video right now. And I'm very happy with it, thank God. Mark Reynolds, the painter, has done a great job, very happy with that. And yeah, it's sitting behind me right now, hopefully where I won't trip over it and scratch it. As I say, the video was made, this whole video is being made out of sync, so I'm going to show you now a little bit of me getting the paintwork out of the back of the car. Back then it was a bit sunnier, so it would look a bit better, I guess. And then we'll come back. And here it is at last. There's a seat unit there. The colour is Honda Victory Red. White panels and a gold pinstripe. So let me get this out of the way because I'm terrified of scratching it. I want to find a nice home for it where it can't get damaged in the back of the garage. So let's that one first. And now finally the tank, which is the one thing I was unsure about when it came to the colours, the graphics and so on, but I'm pretty happy with it, and hopefully you'll like what I've got here. Let's just unwrap it very gently, and there it is. Yeah, so pretty nice, isn't it? Now, actually I'm just trying to make sure my shadow doesn't go on it. So the problem I had with the pinstriping was that if it was too thick, it would continue down here and droop down, which I didn't want. I wanted to go straight back. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Went with gold pinstriping to match the gold of the logo, and again of course Honda Victory Red paintwork. So yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with that, and I can't wait to see it on the bike, but that'll be quite a wait because it still needs a lot of work in terms of wiring and so on. So now I'm going to take this out of here very carefully and place it again very carefully in the back of the garage. So I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so now here we are in the back of the garage. Hopefully they'll be safe for a few weeks. I can't come over here, of course, I can't come near it. I'm terrified of dropping something on it or something going wrong. But anyway, yeah, very happy with the tank, very happy with the seat unit, and here we have the front little cockpit fairing, Le Mans 1 cockpit fairing. Again, very simple, which is what I wanted. The front guys over there, the front fender or mudguard, and that's just plain red because I didn't figure it was worth painting anything white on it or adding any pinstripes. So yeah, overall pretty happy with that. Let me just walk back towards the camera, and over there you can see my 888. The colour is actually quite similar, but the Honda colour, the Victory Red colour, is a little bit brighter, a bit sunnier, which is what I wanted. Just going to hopefully finish off the Gussy to the same standard, and we'll be all set for the summer. And now here we are with the Gussy again in the back of the house in my conservatory, and it's still tucked up against this far wall. And I must say it makes life very difficult because I can't access the far side of the bike, and there's hardly any room to work. You can see here, there's my foot, and at the moment what's been happening is the floor has been my workbench and my toolboxes are cardboard boxes, which isn't ideal at all, particularly when you're trying to do some delicate soldering and so on with the wiring. So yeah, it's not happening. So this bike has got to move elsewhere to make some progress. Probably my garage or maybe even elsewhere, we'll see. However, I have bought something recently for the bike, so let me just refocus and I'll show you that. And I bought 4 of these. These are chromed round, quite small indicators from a company called, let me see, here's the box, Alchemy Parts, a UK bike specialist. A bit expensive, but they do make some decent stuff or sell some decent stuff. Originally I had some similar chromed round indicators, but they're a lot bigger. They were kind of OE spec for the late 70s. And everybody said to me, oh God, they're awful, you know, they're far too big. You've got to change them. So I said, yeah, fair enough. So I found these. They got some rubber here, the rubber mounted. And for the front, I was going to originally mount the indicators here on this hole that I drilled in the headlamp mount. But that won't work anymore because with the cockpit fairing in place, that hole is obscured. So I've got to get a different solution. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. Also, if we move further back, I've got one here I'm just trying out, and because the base is so wide, it doesn't quite fit in the bracket I originally made. So I think I'll have to remake that and just move it out about 5mm to make sure that sits quite well. I could just tighten it up, I guess, and force it, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to damage this this rubber. Yeah, so small things, but they all take time. Right, yeah, so that's what's been going on with the Gussy. Oh, and down there, by the way, is that's the seat pan. So I've got to get a seat upholstered for that. Again, the problem there is the seat guy I've got to use is furlonged, and he's obviously not working right now, and I can't go and see him. So again, more delays, more delays. Yeah, so that's that. Let me now take you back to the garage, and we'll carry on. And now here we are back in the garage again. Yes, that's pretty much it really for the last 6 weeks or so. Except for one thing I just remembered, and that is that in January I bought the most expensive part I bought so far for the Zed project. And again, I have no video of it, but I do have a few photographs. And that was a set of brand new Mikuni RS34 flat slide carbs. Bit of a mouthful. As obviously the engine didn't have any carbs, and the general view out there was that the 34s were the best option for a quick road bike. The 36s were maybe a bit too big. So yeah, I went for the 34s. Now I could have bought something similar off eBay, a second-hand pair, but the chances are they're like, what, 40 years old now, they're worn, you need to rejet them anyway. So instead I went and sort of pushed the boat out and bought that set of flat slides, and they're not cheap. I mean, mine were just shy of £1,000, which is quite a blow, but I did feel like the bike deserved something like that. Yeah, so again, no video of that, I just got them and then opened the box and then sent them off to Les at his workshop where he's building the engine. What I do have though are a couple of quick photographs, so I'll put them up now. Here they are. Yeah, so very expensive, but hopefully well worth it in the end. And I think that's about it really. Not much else is happening at the moment. Obviously with lockdown I can't go anywhere, which I've told you several times now, so things are very slow. But now I've got the bodywork back, and hopefully I've got some time next week to start moving bikes around and maybe spending a bit more time on the Gussy. Things should progress a bit quicker. I think one thing that is difficult though is that maybe I'll get half an hour here or half an hour there between all the other things I've got to do, and it's not really enough. You need half a day at least just to set yourself up, remind yourself what you're doing, study the wiring diagrams and sort of get stuck into it. And half an hour here and half an hour there really isn't enough. Anyway, it's now, let me see, the first week of February, and I'm hoping that by the end of this year anyway, all my bikes will be finished. They'll all be running, all be finished. Maybe not finished, but you know, finished in terms of the current iteration of changes and so on. Because there's always things you can improve. Yeah, so that's it really. So I'm not sure when I'm going to make another video. It all depends on progress elsewhere. I mean, maybe by the end of this month we'll have relaxation of lockdown, who knows. Everyone's getting vaccinated by now. I think we're up to 15 million or thereabouts. So yeah, hopefully we can get back to more normal times quite soon. So anyway, that's that. So thanks for watching and cheers.